Hello, this is Jane Gunn, the Chair of the Board of Management at the Chartered Institute of Arbitrators, and I wanted to take this opportunity to introduce those of you who haven't met her to Catherine Dixon, who's our new Director General. So, hello, Catherine.
Hello, Jane. Thanks so much for taking the time today.
Oh, it's a pleasure. And Catherine, the strange thing is you and I have never met. You've joined the team in the middle of a pandemic, and you haven't even seen your office yet.
No, I haven't. I joined on the 1st of May, so we've been pretty much in lockdown since then. I'm really looking forward to meeting the team face to face. We've had lots of virtual calls, but it's not quite the same. And I'm also looking forward to actually seeing our offices. In fact, I was cycling around the world when you interviewed me, so we even did a Skype interview, and I remember it well. We were in Tombstone, Arizona. And there was the reenactment of the gunfight from the OK Corral going on in the background while I was being interviewed. But I certainly didn't expect to then come back and end up doing virtual meetings for the first couple of months of my tenure.
So that was a bit of a vision as to what your experience with us was going to be like, all virtual.
Well, I think time will tell, but hopefully not. I mean, it's been fantastic so far. I think there's a great team at the Institute, but also meeting the members. I've managed to meet most of the regional chairs, and it's really sort of inspirational hearing about the work that they're doing. And it's so fantastic to be part of this global community.
Mm. So, Catherine, I wanted to just ask you, obviously you've joined an ADR body. I know you're a lawyer by background and you've worked in membership organisations before, but what's drawn you to the Chartered Institute of Arbitrators and to the ADR profession?
Well, I was in practice as a solicitor for many years, mainly actually working in house as general counsel, and I did use ADR as part of my practice for many years. I also used to run the organisation that indemnifies the NHS, the National Health Service in England. And I was very keen to introduce mediation into that organisation, and we did that. And, it was so effective for resolving many of those sorts of disputes, particularly where, people feel that they want an apology and they feel that they need some sort of face-to-face recognition of things that have happened. Mm-hmm. And so I suppose I've always felt very passionate about ADR and using ADR both in a business but also in, I think it's a skill set for life.
Yes. And obviously, my view that I think, right now we are at a time where ADR is the skill that businesses and society needs to really come through the sort of challenges that we're facing. But I wonder then what your vision is for the Chartered Institute. So, you come in at this great time of change. Where do you see the Chartered Institute going in the next 5 to 10 years?
Well, we've been doing a piece of work. One of the things I was keen to really look at right from the beginning was our strategy and really I suppose work with the board to get that clarity around our strategic objectives for the next few years. And we've started that piece of work, and we've also been speaking to branches about that. And I think what's emerging from that is really sort of 3 main strategic aims. And I'm going to grab a piece of paper now and just sort of talk you through them, because it's been one of the things that we've been doing with the branch chairs as well, just to get some feedback on them. But the first strategic aim that we're really looking at is about globally promoting the constructive resolution of disputes. And for me, that is all about highlighting the value that ADR brings to society and to the economy. And that's working, for me, it's working with business as well as the ADR community, because I think it's important that we, I suppose, explain to business the use that ADR can be to them. And we've just actually launched with CEDA, and it's the first time I think we've collaborated together as 2 organisations in the UK, a business dispute resolution service for disputes that are coming out of the pandemic. And I think that's something that we are looking to see whether we can also use that service more globally, and we'll be speaking to some of the branches about whether that's possible. But that's all about going out, reaching out to business to say, you know, ADR can be a solution. It helps you to keep the relationship with your business partners, but also, you know, it enables businesses to resolve disputes quickly, where, you know, certainly in some circumstances, going to the courts will be very time consuming and quite honestly a distraction from getting back to work, you know, as a result of the pandemic.
Yeah, exciting.
I think the next area is we're talking about really thought leadership and being an inclusive global thought leader. And for me, that's been at the cutting edge of innovation and technology, and making sure that as an institute we know about those developments, and therefore we can inform our members so that they can be on the front foot rather than back foot in terms of responding to change. I also think there's an important rule there around rule of law and access to justice, which obviously dispute resolution can assist with, certainly in certain jurisdictions where perhaps, again, access to the courts can be problematic. And I think that also fits in with our professional standards and ethics, and making sure that those are in line with some of the changes that we're seeing around how we behave in practice. And the third area is what we've called develop and support an inclusive global community of diverse dispute resolvers. And obviously education, or certainly training and development plays a big part of it. I always think of it more in terms of training and development when you're dealing with and supporting professionals. But for me, there's also something in there about equality, diversity and inclusion, and really supporting and enabling the best to join irrespective of their background, which for me is about supporting people through their careers and perhaps supporting younger practitioners to get their first appointment if that's what they're wanting to do. And working very closely with our branches around that. And I think, you know, setting up effective communication and engagement with our branches is really going to be key. And we've already started that with a dialogue with the chairs, and we'll be, you know, carrying that on, you know, through a series of meetings over the next few months.
Gosh, that's brilliant, Catherine. And I know from working with you personally over the last few weeks, and from what you're saying there, that your style is very inclusive. You know, you're wanting to include and work with all the stakeholders, you know, whether it's the members or the chairs or the branches. You know, that's an important part of this job for you, I know.
Well, I think it is, and I think we're stronger together. I mean, if you think about the expertise that we have within our members and within our branches, it's really important that we work together to utilise that for everyone's benefit. I mean, we're a relatively small staff team at HQ, and, you know, we're not going to be able to deliver on what is a global vision, you know, without working closely with our members across the world.
Yeah, so there's plenty for us all to do together. So what about you, Catherine? What about Catherine when you're not in work? I know I can see your cat's toy, and I've been watching your cat as we've spoken over the last few weeks. So you obviously have a couple of pets there.
Yeah, I've got a couple of cats. They're not around at the moment, but I know that they were a bit of a distraction at the board meeting the other day when I was playing with a toy sort of behind me and jumping on the desk, which is a bit of a distraction. She even managed to send a note to all the trustees at one point with when she stood on my keyboard.
That's right.
But I guess my passion sort of outside work is cycling.
Yes.
I do. Yeah. You know, probably an excessive amount of cycling. You know, as I mentioned, I've just come back from a round the world cycle ride where I set a new world record for
amazing
cycling around the world on a tandem. So so obviously that's something that, you know, I do quite a lot of, and I think you know, sport's always been important to me as part of my, you know, it's part of my well-being, but you know, and I've always tried to combine it with my job, though as I recognise it probably sort of took over in the sense that I left my last role in order to you know, try for the world record.
Well, you got it. A wonderful achievement. And
Yeah.
yes, as you say, when I interviewed you, there you were, you know, in Arizona, in the middle of this. Then you had to race the pandemic to get back again, so it was quite an adventure. And I like the idea that the tandem sort of stands for collaboration. You had to do that in collaboration with someone else, otherwise you weren't going to succeed. So
That's right.
fantastic, Catherine, fantastic. So, is there any last message you'd like to give to people who may be watching this video? There might be members, they might be branch members or members of staff, but just people who haven't met you yet.
Well, you know, I mean, obviously, I'm really looking forward to meeting as many people as possible, and you know, if please do reach out and say hello. So it'll be, you know, I'm looking forward to meeting many of our members, and you know, I've been fortunate enough to meet, I think probably all of the staff, even if it's been virtually at this stage. But you know, I just think if you're not actively involved in the institute, then and you'd like to get involved, then please do. I think there's lots of opportunities. You know, I'm really looking forward to working and developing that sort of diverse community that we were talking about as part of those objectives. So, you know, I'm just, you know, very excited about the future, and see that you know, there's so many opportunities for the institute to really sort of you know, deliver on those aims. So please do get in touch, and we can talk about, you know, the part that you can play in that.
Brilliant, Catherine. Well, I'm so excited to be working with you, and you know, to share your vision and see all those opportunities. So thank you for taking the time to speak this afternoon.
Thank you, Jane. It's great to speak with you.
Thank you.